Hello, this is Victor at RestoringMercedes.com. This is my workshop bench, and today I'm working on the ECU from 1999 Mercedes SL-500. Now the problem here is that the keys are lost, and I want to get this thing to give me drive authorization. All right. The module is different from the M119 model, but the processor seems to be the same. The processor over there seems to be the same processor, so we're gonna try to work with this. Excuse me. Now, my workbench computer that I always used for these diagnostics did not work out with that ECU. So I brought the other modules, so I went over with whatever other modifications, whatever connections, and now we can see drive authorization. And before I couldn't do it, so now I can. So I'm gonna use this computer to look into drive authorization. So now we have start enable, no. All right, so because we don't have drive authorization, we cannot start this engine, and fault codes because the computer is just the ECU is on the bench, nothing else is connected to it, so there will be lots of codes. My only thing here with this module is this 1570, the fault in the DAS to engine control module. This is the one that I want to work with, and it's going to take a while. Well, see, now this computer froze. It's going to take a while to get this thing to work, and hopefully we'll get it going. The main processor has been removed. It's still cooling down because it is super hot right now. Quartz and capacitor here are not damaged because I put the heat sink rather, or heat barrier around it when I was removing the processor, right? So this is the processor. Well, now it's time to clean this all up and put the socket in there, and we'll move along. Okay, so the main ECU chip is out, and the socket is ready. The surfaces are clean, and now it's time to put in the socket because I don't know what to expect out of this chip, so I don't want to solder it in after programming, and I would rather have the option of the chip removal so I don't have to unsolder it anymore. So I would rather put the socket in. Now somebody would say, yeah, socket is not the best thing. Yes, it's not. Yes, I totally agree, but I would rather have this thing cleaned up to the best of my ability, and as you can see it's pretty clean, and I'm sure I will have a perfect contact with the actual socket. Okay, so it's going to make life so much easier right now. So I can just solder this thing in there. Yeah, that's a microscope right there. So I'll solder that thing in there, and we'll call it a day. And then we're gonna start programming the chip, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, another addition, and moving along. Okay, so the socket is soldered in, the chip is in there in the programmer Xprog. So I'm going to get this thing flashed out and then move on and check out with the drive authorization. Okay, so after many hours fiddling with this module here, I finally got it to do what it has to do, right? So just to just to go over this unit once more. So now this is a 99 model M113 SL-500. This is the part number for the module itself, main ECU, and this is the slightly different one from what I usually work on. But this is the, again, 99 M113 engine. I mostly, you know, I've done 119 engines SLs, but this one is R129 with M113 V8. Okay, now the chip, as you can see it, the main processor is virginized, so the module can be reprogrammed. I did have to change the win number, unfortunately, because I couldn't leave the original one. It just didn't line up right, so I had to put the Euro version in it. The controller is here. It's all soldered in, and now the win number has changed. That is a good thing. And drive authorization, this is what we do want to see. Now we have DAS engine control compatible, yes. Engine control identified, yes. Engine control module interlocked, no. So what that means is that it needs about 40 starts before the module will become locked up to this very win number, and it cannot be reprogrammed unless the main processor is virginized again. Okay, so right now you can change win number in it and it will accept it, but after about 40 times, 40 something tries, 40 starts of the engine, it will become yes, and that's it. Then you won't be able to change anything internally. And most important is start enable yes. So the keys are lost for this car and we have no chip, so drive authorization will not allow the engine to start. And now drive authorization allows engine to start. Now starts with non-interlocked engine control module number 0. What that means is this is just how many times the motor was started before module is locked to that win number that was recorded into it. Okay, so this is just to tell you, like, you know, it keeps counting after it gets to like 40 starts. Then in this menu we're gonna have the value here to change from no to yes, and that's it. There's gonna be no more need for counting how many times the motor was started. And that's basically all it is. Also, as you can see, the menu is slightly different here. Also, the fault memory, as we saw the fault memory for drive authorization, now we're gonna have a bunch of codes because the module is not connected to anything but the power and diagnostic. You know, throttle body is disconnected, throttle body actual, oh, this is the pedal position sense, coolant temperature, intake temperature, hot mass airflow, communication, fuel tank, pressure sensor, and that's all the codes that we have at the current, as the current faults. So as you don't see drive authorization codes in here, and that's good because drive authorization allows engine to be started, so it has no problems with it. Now these are the stored memory, that's the codes, the stored codes. There might be more. Well, no, not really, pretty much the same ones. Alright, so that basically will be all for me, and this module can be unsoldered, the wires can be undone, cover put back on, the processor here is attached, secured. The main processor is installed in the socket, so it can be removed, virginized, and reinstalled. And that's all nice and clean, and this unit is ready to go. So now there is no need for a chip. The drive authorization module behind the cluster, the instrument cluster, that has to be unplugged because there's going to be no longer a need for it. Now this piece will take care of it. The codes are stored in here, so the module, the main ECU, talks to this one, not drive authorization. So that module has to be unplugged, not to make any confusion in the CAN bus. And this car will start with just a blade. Just turn the ignition and the engine will start. So that's it. We're gonna end this diagnostic. Well, you know, just one more time I'm gonna just go Well, let's just do it one more time, all right? Just show the diagnostic that, so you see it's not like it was a freeze frame or something like this. This is the live, so it's communicating to the module right now. Just fresh communication, right? And it's gonna select HTT Win handheld tester. That's how they called it back in the days. I actually had to use my other laptop because the other laptop didn't have Sentry, so I had to use this one. So it's bizarre that this 99 was different from a 97. Well, because different engine, different control module, although same microprocessor, but the computer itself internally looks different than the 97 module. Drive authorization. Yes, yes, interlock, no, and start enable, yes. Once the engine is started, it has to run for about 2-3 minutes. Do not shut it down, just start it up and just let it run, and then it's gonna relearn itself and it's gonna lock in all the data, and that's it. It will start now ever since without the chip inside the key fob. Well, you can also put the remote start on this car right now because it doesn't need to have a key fob chip. You don't need no reading off that RFID little chip inside the key. Okay, so this is it. This is Victor at restoreyourmercedes.com, and thank you for watching.